I'm Tanya Nathan.
And I'm Sarah Andrews.
We met on the Hillary Clinton campaign back before marriage and kids.
And now we're saying the quiet things out loud.
The judgment you feel if your kids aren't being perfect.
Being a parent just fundamentally changes you. It's hard to imagine my life before that. I had this whole career.
A lot of people were promised a lot of things.
It's so cringe. It's so cringe.
He's acting like a rat bro. We're raising kids,
Raising questions,
and raising our voices.
welcome to Momarchy.
What are butter moms and do millennial moms need more self-care? I think yes.
Welcome back to Momarchy. We're your hosts, Sarah and Tanya. And Sarah, how are you doing?
You know, we're hanging in. We're hanging in as we always are. We are full on in summertime, so we'll get into that today. But I'm kind of loving it. This weekend, I just filled up our dog pool with water and let my kids play in it, and it was wonderful. And it just I sat there with a glass of rosé and just was loving the summertime.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
We finally got a water table.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, which if you have kids I'd say up to 5 years old. I don't know. It's a table outside. You use a hose, you fill it. It's much more eco-friendly than running through the sprinklers.
Yes, game changer.
And they love it. And it's really cute because I use mostly so I don't have to go back and get the hose, my kids' buckets to water our plants afterwards. And that's her favorite part. But she's so teeny and uncoordinated that she's trying to carry these little buckets with water and they're just splish splashing everywhere. But it's very important to her. Current trending events, pop culture, political stuff. Michelle Obama's having a moment.
What is
She
she
deserves every moment.
Is she not having a moment? She's such a wonderful human being.
She is. She's a wonderful human being. What was it that she said on that interview with her and Barack Obama where they said if you could give one word to describe the next chapter in your life? I forgot what his word was, but hers was me. And it was great.
She does deserve everything that she wants. And if she would like to run for president in 2028, call us if you need help. Michelle.
I also don't want people to be mean to her.
That's true. But people are going to be mean to her no matter what.
That's
the
true.
UFC fighter recently was like, Michelle Obama is a man. And it's really? You're going to take your moment here to talk about Michelle Obama and spew a hateful lie.
Yeah.
It just gave her more clicks and follows probably. So, great.
It's the
Awful.
same old material. Boring.
Rinse and repeat, as you said on social media.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat.
Misogyny. But yeah, she talks about how her life would have been different without Barack Obama.
Yeah, I thought she's talked about this a lot in her books, and she has a podcast. Michelle, come on our pod on Momarchy if you'd like. We would literally clear our schedules for you. Anytime, name a place. Time.
Sorry. Current boss. I quit.
We'll do anything for you. But I thought what she said it was humble, but it also, I think, was really true. She talked about how her life would not have been as big. She would have, her two daughters who are now 25 and 27. She's traveled the world with them. They've seen so many things. They've met so many incredible people. They lived in the White House. They've gone through 2 presidential campaigns. I mean, really incredible stuff that she was it's not that my life would have been worse. It just would have been smaller. It would have been different. And I think she didn't say it in a stuck up way. It was more of just Barack had all of these dreams and he opened up my eyes to a bigger, brighter, more hopeful world. And it was such a testament to their relationship and their life together. They've been together for almost 35 years now. So if everyone could just be Barack Obama and Michelle Obama relationship goals.
It's such a partnership, and they're really open about the fact that there are good times and there are bad times. And I appreciate that because they don't go into that many details, but Lord knows that current dude in White House with Melania, they don't acknowledge any bad times. And I think that it's
I don't think they have a relationship.
bad time. Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And then you're looking unclear. Haven't seen it. But it is really interesting to hear about the Obamas, the way that they interact with their daughters. Just like, it's so relatable in the best way that like a presidential family could be relatable, and the only way.
You know, the haters will say like, well, we don't believe everything you see online and but I think after them leaving the White House has shown, like, Michelle has opened up in a way, like, just like the way that she dresses, the way she presents herself, like she's definitely like come out of her shell, and it's just been like, this is who I am, and I'm going to be who I am. She gave the introduction to Barack Obama at the opening of their presidential library a few weeks ago, and literally Barack was crying. It was so cute, and it was so real, and it was just like, can't we just have this in our politics again? Like you said, it was relatable, it was hopeful. These people they both went to Harvard, right? Like, these are incredibly smart people, been in the White House for 8 years, and they still are just so normal.
Totally. It's awesome. They're relatable. It is such a breath of fresh air. I heard that the opening of his library was wonderful and just filled with like hope and change vibe.
I cannot wait to go. Apparently there's a whole section of children's books about like hope and change and America, and that's what I need in my life. So on the other hand, we've had some interesting news in national politics. By the time this episode comes out, hopefully this motherfucker will have stepped down and is not running for office anymore. Graham Plattner, candidate for U.S. Senate in Maine. A few articles were released, I would say a month ago, saying this guy was a sexual predator. He harassed them. He was aggressive towards them. He also has a Nazi tattoo that he claimed he didn't know was a Nazi tattoo. And but like the Democratic Party was just like, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. And then this article dropped yesterday. By the time this comes out, it will have been a few weeks, that he literally raped a woman. And he still has not dropped out of the race.
No, still hasn't dropped out.
At this time that we are recording.
Yeah. Dems made so many excuses for why this man had to be the nominee. And it was something where he never had to be the nominee. Like, there were alternatives. There's always alternatives. And how many things can you ignore? Like, how many women in stories do there have to be for you to say this guy's character and judgment is pretty flawed and should not be our nominee? Like,
and it's so many women. It's like, shouldn't one woman be enough? But it was 3 women in the first article, and now another woman had to come forward and tell her very, very painful story. There's no advantage for her of telling this story, of going on national television. Her face is in the news, saying that she was raped. I mean, this is serious stuff. And people now, over the last 24 hours, and hopefully, again, when this episode comes out, he will have officially, I mean, he has to drop out. At this point, every single person in the political world has called for him to drop out. But why did we even have to come to this point? Like, we knew this guy was a bad dude, and we continued to just, I guess, apologize for him or sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
And believe him when he said nothing more was coming out.
That's the thing.
Nothing more.
Of
course there was more.
When he promised, he was like, oh no, like, that's it. If somebody says that, you know that there's more that's coming out. And if you have to have somebody promise you, like, then there's already been enough that's come out there. And like, our favorite dude, Hassan Piker, finally said that he doesn't support him anymore. But like, that should have come a long time ago. A very long time ago.
I mean, Bernie Sanders on the steps of the U.S. Capitol said, like, I don't know any saints in Washington, so I'm okay with it. This was before the rape article came out. He still has not pulled his endorsement. But it's like, well, sure, I'm sure there's a lot of politicians, right? Like, if you're not in politics, it's like the devil you know. They're all corrupt. They're all horrible. But like, so we're okay with people that rape women? Like, really? We're going to go that far? I mean, this is truly, we're turning into like MAGA Trump. If we are okay with this behavior, it's very like, what's next? Like, what is the next shoe that needs to drop to like make sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah. And not only just okay with the behavior, but for people like us who have never been a Plattner fans, who have said all along, this guy's really problematic. Like, stop this train. You can see where it's going. Like, this isn't something that it's a bombshell. Like, this came out and we're thinking, yeah, like, obviously.
I wasn't
and then,
surprised.
No. And then there's people that a week ago are saying, you have to vote for him. You have to support him. Like, we need to all come together, like mocking unity stuff and using him as something to be like, oh, if you want us to support your people, you'll support Graham Plattner. We're like, no.
And again, this isn't like a policy difference.
No.
Like, I think having someone who is like working class, you know, he went to a very elite boarding school. Let's just be clear about that. But like, he claims that he's like this working class person in Maine. He's an oyster farmer. He's a Maine combat veteran. Like, those are all really, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that you also can do all of these other terrible things and say all these terrible things, and we're just going to continue to be okay with that behavior. And the vote blue no matter who thing, like, I'm sorry, I believe, and I shouldn't apologize, I'm not sorry, but I believe women, and I don't want Susan Collins to be in the U.S. Senate. I agree with that, but I also don't want poor young staffers or young women lobbyists in D.C. to be, quite frankly, at this point, we know would be attacked by this person if he were elected to the U.S. Senate, one of the most powerful jobs in the world.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Just think
wild.
about what he would have done if he was in the U.S. Senate. Like, yikes.
It would be terrible. It'd be awful.
Big yikes.
And much to Dems' credit, at the 11th, right before the 12th hour, they're asking him to step out. It's better than has been done than a lot of the right. So we've seen this in the past where with Dems holding politicians accountable, there was Al Franken, whether or not I like Al Franken, and I think that whole thing was really BS. Anthony Weiner, Eric Swalwell, those two actually pretty problematic.
Very.
But I mean, I guess better late than never.
Better late than never. And let's just have this be a reminder to our party that, like, we cannot be the party that is okay with sexual predators.
Yeah.
And if we are, I don't want to be part of that party.
Yeah.
So
in Idaho, there was a mother who went, gosh, what was her name? Andrea Shaw. Her kids got vaccines to
regular, like the
regular
standard
Tdap.
Yeah. Hepatitis.
A couple days later, they died. She went on to like ABC, something like that, some local news, and was interviewed by the group Children's Health Defense, which RFK Jr. used to be the chair of. He's no longer quote unquote affiliated with them, but he used to be the chair of them, and said that the vaccines are what killed her children. It turns out that she is most likely to have murdered her kids. And she's been indicted with 2 charges of murder, first-degree murder. She's on a $2 million bond and faces up to the death penalty. Wow. And so this is something they think that she might have suffocated the kids.
Mm-hmm. There's no words. I mean, there's like, well, there's always words because this is a podcast, but like it is
there's only words.
There's only words. This is so horrific on so many levels, and the fact that like that she can blame vaccines for the kid's death that we know is virtually, we're no health experts, but we know that would not have happened.
Yeah.
And this is like what fuels misinformation online. And the Maha movement and all the things. And it's like, because I'm sure people are pointing to this example of like, well, did you hear the poor 23-year-old mom whose 18-year-old twins died after they got the Tdap vaccine? Like, well, that's just bullshit. But it just is like more, it just fuels the fire.
Yeah, and not only did she literally kill her kids,
Ugh.
which at this point, I have to imagine that with $2 million bond set, they have a tremendous amount of evidence.
She's going to jail.
Yeah, at least.
And it's Idaho, so good luck.
And so fueling that kind of misinformation and putting other kids at danger and at risk, like we've talked about it before too, where like, sure, you make the decision on what you want to do if you vaccinate your kids or not. That is a personal decision.
Totally.
You're making that choice. But like, your kid is also interacting with my kid.
Mhm.
And that is something that is unacceptable. And feel bad for the kids. Like, this isn't on them. They don't know what a vaccine is or what the repercussions are. And they're being told, like, this is going to make you sick. We're not doing it.
Yeah, and we actually are seeing the highest deaths of kids that are unvaccinated ever, literally ever right now.
Yeah.
That is backed by facts and science. And so kids are actually dying because they're not getting vaccines. And like you said, they're putting other kids at risk. So thank you, RFK Jr. Still haven't listened to his podcast. We'll have to tune into that soon.
I don't
or
want
maybe
to
not.
because his voice is so creepy. And just thinking about just his voice coming through a speaker, at least you can laugh at his face. Like, his voice, I find nothing scarier.
And who are his guests? I feel like we heard about this podcast.
Katie Miller. I don't know.
Katie Miller. We heard about this podcast and then it just like never heard about it again.
Yeah.
Like we definitely have more listeners than RFK's Junior's podcast.
Great.
I hope so.
I hope so. Make it so, guys.
Yes.
Grab your seltzer water, your vanilla iced latte, your rosé, and let's get into it.
So today we are going to mix up part of my reaction to make it a little fun and a little surprise. So you'll be able to see mine and Tanya's reactions to clips for the first time. Maybe we've seen the things, maybe we haven't. But both of us have picked 2 clips. They could be about anything, motherhood, politics, you name it. We haven't, as far as we know, we have not seen these clips.
Correct.
So we'll be reacting in real time. So are we ready?
Yeah.
Today, my husband asked for beef tacos, and I didn't want to let him down, so I slaughtered our cow and picked the corn myself. As a 22-year-old mother of 10, I like to do everything by hand. Today, my kids wanted to color, but we were all out of paper, so I mashed up my law degree to make more paper for my kids. Today, my husband asked for beef.
That's amazing.
Real or fake?
I mean, fake.
You know it's fake.
Yeah, I know that. Comedian.
Yeah.
But
thank you, SNL.
It also is, unfortunately, so real. Real and fake.
Yeah. So this is an SNL clip. This was not real life, but I would say there's many clips like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That are real.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before, of how much preparation it takes to film something like this. And for it to look so curated and just like effortless. The law degree being just destroyed to make paper for her kids to color from scratch.
It's too. We'll get into the the trad wife stuff later on, but I thought that was fitting.
It is. I love it.
Yeah.
Ordering the Bin Laden raid, saving an auto industry, winning a peace prize. Keeping us safe from Ebola, regulating the banks.
Okay, so for those that don't know, that is at the Obama Library opening. And Michelle Obama makes a joke about Obama winning the Peace Prize because Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize more than anything. And what is just great is you can just hear Hillary Clinton laughing, just laughing and laughing.
It's so I've not seen this yet. I love the like pano to Hillary. That is literally like the best.
I know. It made me happy. It makes me happy seeing
who was
her
she
happy.
whispering to? Was she whispering to Barack?
No, I think she was whispering to her husband.
Oh my God, it was just, oh God.
Another thing for another time.
Yeah, another thing. But, oh, Hillary. Okay, great clip. I loved it. Well, if you all enjoyed our pardon reaction today and you have other clips you'd like us to react to, DM us at Mommarchy Podcast or send us an email at mommarchypodcast@gmail.com. Perfect. I did not know what butter moms were until we started researching this episode.
Out of the bearded barley, nightly, beside the green, green grass, swings.
Okay, I think you get the gist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are butter moms, Tanya? Can you give us like a little...
My understanding of butter moms is I don't think I call it a revolt, but maybe I don't know. It's primarily millennial moms, right? That are going back on some of the ways that parenting has been happening for the last 30 years. So this is stuff with like the way that baby boomers raised kids, the way that Gen X raised kids, everything like that. Getting away from like no allergens in the classroom, all of that stuff. Well, no, that's still very important. Getting away from like preventing all of this, like kids only eat organic, kids only eat X, Y, and Z, and like low fat stuff, which is, you know, when we were growing up, low fat was, we thought meant healthy. And a lot of that stuff was not healthy. It was actually much worse for us, like margarine. And like leaning back into the comfort of quote unquote butter, but butter like emotionally too.
Yeah, I think I did not. It's so funny that, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm leaned in more on the trends and like what's happening in pop culture, but I didn't know the like butter mom term until we started like researching this episode. And I would say like, I think the butter moms, and we've talked about this like 90s summers when we were young, like I'm good with that. And I would consider myself, especially like there's aspects of that trend or whatever you see online that like I'm into, right? It's like the oversized jean shirt and wearing bare feet, having bare feet outside and like trying to, buy and make healthy food for your kids. Like I'm all for that. It's kind of like Maha where I'm like, I'm all for getting dyes out of our food and healthy eating. And I'm a fan, but I think where it goes too far is like the clip that we played. It's making it seem like this is so like that took a lot of effort. She's looking like put together. Yeah. Like when I think of butter mom, like it's my normal, my aesthetic over the weekend, which is like no makeup, hair's not done. I'm wearing like my Birkenstocks and an oversized shirt. Yeah. That's not what that looked like. Like there's shit everywhere in the house. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's taken like social media yet again is like taken things too far where it like looks unrealistic.
Yeah. It's opposite of what it's really purporting to be. And so it's supposed to be like relaxed. We want to do this. We're doing it for like just the health, the happiness, all of it can be balanced. And
which
like,
I'm for.
Yeah, totally for. But you're right. Social media is taking it over and whoever can have the best looking version of it wins.
Yeah. And I think what you said is like so true. It's like this 90s kids summer, but like the reality, and I know this from my mom, is it's like, yeah, but also like Slim Fast was a thing and like, margarine was a thing. So it's like taking all of the like these little things from over generations and like lopping them into one thing. I would also argue that like the mommy maxing thing is kind of part of the butter mom trend. Yeah. A little bit. Or like the SNL clip of like this woman wearing like her hair perfectly done, but she's wearing this like really flowy, relaxed looking floral dress. Yeah. Like, is that butter moms?
I don't think so. I feel like that's more just in the trad wife thing.
That's trad wife. So like what is the difference?
That's a great question. I think that my analysis is that trad wife seems to be much more focused on the husband in serving, and Butter Moms seem to be more about kids and like less about your personal aesthetic.
Yeah. And so I hear that. I am very much more in the Butter Mom camp than the Trad Wife camp if we have to pick one.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I love that. What about things like I recently heard this like sharenting. So you share every meltdown, you share every funny tantrum. It's basically what we do on this podcast.
Yeah.
You post it to the algorithm, you tell your friends, you text your mom. Like, what is this like a thing now?
I mean, if it's important for people to vent and that's their way, but I also have a lot of opinions on seeing the way that some people, mostly that I went to high school with, on Facebook, just word vomit on Facebook about what their kids have done, anything like that. And it usually comes back to and this is why I'm so thankful that like my family X, Y, and Z, even though we're not perfect. And it's like also a photo that is very manicured of, and I'm just like, this is a lot. Like there's part of this that is relatable. And I think that it's funny to share stuff when you're like, I can't believe that this is happening.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't know, it's also manufactured.
Like we share stuff a lot on the pod, right? Like funny things that have happened with our family, our kids. But I do feel pretty strongly of like my personal Instagram is locked down. Like I don't want people that I don't know like looking at photos of my kids. I don't have a Facebook. I'm not posting like all this stuff. It's do whatever you need to do to get you through. But I think that trend, I don't know. It's all social media is such a dumpster fire, right?
Yeah.
Like I follow a lot of people that just like put it all out there, and it's like in the name of authenticity.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is the line though? Are you being authentic, or are you just like oversharing to the point where you're like, I didn't need to know that?
Well, that's the thing is that it is important to not keep everything bottled up, right? But there is a line there, and like personally don't think that I should know about your husband's substance abuse struggles.
Oh gosh,
like
people are posting about this on
about like, and it's horrible. I think that there are a lot of things that like, you know, it's great to make it less stigmatized, to do stuff like that. But like now I know the issues that your family are having in terms of like him parenting your kids. And that's like a lot. And that's having people in your community then just be like forming their own opinions, because that's also only coming from one perspective, right? And like you don't know what else is really going on. It's just like another way to curate a story around your life. And like it just seems like there's a time and a place in really open avenues that you can do that in, and I'm just not quite sure Facebook is the place.
Okay, so we want to get into Ask Millennial Mom, self-care in reality.
Yes. So we just talked about Butter Moms and so many other trends that it's hard to keep up with. Why do we need trends in the first place? Are we a part of trends? Are we a part of the problem? Maybe. But what self-care looks like in millennial moms online versus in real life and on a mood board. So
On a mood board.
self-care got so rebranded when it did come to social media and things online. And a lot of this is, you know, when you look at something like a bathtub on Pinterest and it has rose petals and candles and everything like that. And like, you're thinking, oh, that means relaxing, when I don't really have access to that kind of stuff. Is what I'm doing up to par for that.
Yeah, I think self-care to me is, it's going to be different for everyone. As a mom and as a parent, I have definitely like had to recalibrate my brain on what self-care means to me. I think as in our generation, we definitely I think, focus more on self-care than previous generations, where it's like, oh, we don't need self-care. We're just going to like dive in and just, do it. And I do think from a mental health perspective, and we've talked about this before, like this generation of mothers in particular has some of the worst mental health rates in the history, because we're being torn between these two worlds of this like trad wife world and this girl boss world, and like where do we fit in the middle of it? And just millennials in general, like we were born into a tough time. We were sold this fantasy that if you work hard enough and you go to college, you'll make enough money to buy a house and raise a family and all those things, and like that is not the reality. And so now I see myself with 2 kids now, and self-care to me is like getting them to bed by 8 and like watching a show with my husband and having a glass of wine.
Oh yeah.
Like that's self-care to me. And it doesn't need to be a bad thing. It also like I think is a good thing. Or having my husband watch the kids for 2 hours so I can go get my nails done. And I would watch the kids for him to go work out or whatever it is. But I think it's just important to recognize like what does that mean?
Yeah. And self-care in the little moments, right? Where like it doesn't need to be, people do deserve time for self-care. And I think that that's another thing, is that like we're all so go with everything, especially if you're trying to raise your children, help a family, work, whatever it is. Then like when you have free time, I think that it's almost considered lazy to do something for yourself or selfish. And so we go into the mode of what chore do I have to do? What can I like check off of my list while doing this, instead of like, oh, I should go get a massage. Like I used to get massages all the time, and I can't remember the last time that I did. I think I was maybe pregnant.
And we're part of this always on millennial generation. On top of it, we grew up a decade plus of our lives working on campaigns where part of the culture was you should always be working. There's always more to do. There's always another email to send. There's always a bit, something else to build. You hit a goal, there's a higher goal. And so we were kind of in this like this culture of just like go, 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 go. And we are still in that culture in a way. And so we talk about this all the time where it's like, I have been there and I have done that. And now I just deserve a minute. And actually working 9 to 5 is pretty fucking normal.
Yeah.
But we have been trained to think it's not.
Yeah.
Like that we should be answering emails at 10 p.m. And it's like, well, I'm only going to do that if it is, and like Mamarchy, it's like we're cramming it in after bedtime or in the morning or on the weekends or like in between meetings, and because we love it and it is part of our self-care.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about this all the time of how we have to talk about campaign experiences at one point, but like the schedule was so insane.
It still is crazy.
Because it still is. Yeah, 100%. And
there's no off
it used to be where it was working 7 days a week. If you were lucky, you maybe had Sunday off. But more likely
Sunday afternoon.
I was going to say either Sunday afternoon or you would start at 11 on Sundays, which was like, they're like, great, you can do your laundry on Sunday mornings. And that was the big thing is like, you have 2 hours a week to do something, and then everything else is just dedicated to the campaign 100%.
I
and
can't believe this was over.
You miss
crazy
so many milestones for people. You
our 20s.
Yeah, you miss your 20s.
We're lost.
Yeah.
I say that with love to all of my old bosses and candidates throughout time, but truly, I'm like, I quite literally gave up my 20s. I didn't go on fun trips. I didn't go out. I like didn't really see my family much. I worked and worked and worked and worked.
I think about that a lot too, and being like, man, I wish that I traveled more in my 20s. And then I'm like, when would that have happened? Because also when we had time, we were unemployed and like trying to claw the pieces of our life back together after working 100 hours a week for months and months and months. So it's
I would say, and again, this is like our perspective as millennial moms in our 30s living life right now, but between the political industry that we have worked in and still work in and being millennials, it's like we got a double whammy. And now it's like we've had to retrain ourselves to accept self-care, to be like, no, I am going to take Saturday and Sunday off because that's normal. I'm going to hang out with my children from 5 to 8 because that is a normal thing to do.
Yeah. I wish that I love my laptop. I love the ability to take it places. I also am just like so sad that there's not just a desktop anymore and like a
COVID
landline.
too.
And so when you,
With Zoom.
yeah. And now Zoom meetings, you can just back to back to back. You can have 8-9 meetings in a day without standing up.
Yeah. I think just like putting a bow on it, like what's one thing you've stopped feeling guilty about and just like do it for yourself and you give no fucks. Don't give a fuck.
Definitely responding late. And it's gotten way better. I used to consider not responding late after 9 p.m., which is not correct. And then it was after 7 p.m. and still people were like, that's pretty late to respond to things. And so now it's gotten to a point where like it's between 5 and 6 where I keep tabs on things, but like unless I really need to, I do not feel the need to respond to something.
Yeah.
Especially like when we're not doing a campaign or something like that. Like it is okay. There's not an emergency and people have different levels of, what they consider appropriate and not with communication. But like, that doesn't mean that you have to
Abide to that.
Yes. What about you?
For me, and I'm trying to get better about it, is the phone calls after 5 and on the weekends, especially with children. Like if it is an emergency and it's time sensitive, like my husband and I can figure it out. But like there's many times where it's just me and I have my 2 kids. Like I can't be on the phone and doing bath time and I'm supposed to be like talking to a client. So to me, it's like also just like a safety thing now.
Yeah.
When I'm with my kids, I'm like, well, like it's just hard, like being on the phone. And I, as you know, like I've had to limit clients that I have that are just don't understand those boundaries because it's just like, I can't do it. And I also, as a woman in this work or in any industry, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you don't want to not be taken seriously because you're not available at 6 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, that's fucking normal. Again,
Yeah.
like I'm team normal. And I feel like we have been trained to not be normal in the self-care world. But I think we both like are good about holding ourselves accountable. Like sometimes I'll text you like early because I get up early. So I'm like, don't respond to this. But here's like my thought on this one thing. But like I think we both know and respect each other's boundaries where it's like if someone's not responding, it's because we're with our families.
Yeah.
And that's a totally appropriate and normal thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Thanks, everybody, so much. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. This one was fun. We could talk about self-care and butter moms and trad wives forever. And we have on this pod, as you all know, for our loyal listeners. So keep tuning in because we will definitely talk about these things again.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube for more clips and commentary at Momarchy Podcast. Interact with us. Send us some DMs if there's anything that you want us to cover. And please, please, please rate, follow, send to your friends. It makes a really big difference and helps our little corner of the internet keep growing. So thanks, guys. We love you.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.